I'm Noah with American Trucks, and we're checking out this MBRP Armor Lite filter back single exhaust with a polished tip and a side exit, fitting the 2017 to 2022 6.7 liter Power Stroke F-250 Super Duty. If you're looking to ditch the stock exhaust for an affordable filter back system that has a really aggressive sound and unlocks some performance gains as well, then this system from MBRP is going to be a great one for you. Right off the bat, this system is going to fall at a 3 out of 5 on the Wake the Neighbor scale. Factory exhausts are restrictive, especially on a boosted application, and they limit airflow out of the motor. And one of the easiest ways to get a happier motor and some more horsepower and torque is to install a free-flowing system that doesn't have a million mufflers or resonators. Now this system is a straight through system, and it actually ditches the rearmost muffler that would be on this section here, so you're definitely going to get a lot more noise out of this as well. Now this exhaust exits on the passenger side right behind the rear wheel. So you're going to hear a lot more noise in the cab through that passenger side window than with a rear exhaust that would leave the sound behind the truck as you drive away. MBRP says that with this system you can expect to feel a pretty decent jump in horsepower and torque as well. Moving on to construction, this system is made from a huge 4-inch mandrel-bent aluminized steel piping setup, which means the piping is not only free-flowing and smooth around the bends, but it's built to be resistant to corrosion and rust without the super high cost of traditional stainless steel. Then onto the rear exhaust, it does have a polished tip that's made of 304 stainless, and it's stamped with the MBRP logo. A tip like this is going to stay really shiny for a long time because of that polished finish and the super resilient 304 stainless. This is a really straightforward system, and it's exactly how it should be, especially on a boosted application. And one last thing to mention is that this does come with a 3-year warranty in case anything goes wrong. This system comes in around $415, and it's going to be a fair bit more affordable than most other systems on the market. Now that's due to the aluminized steel construction as opposed to something like 409 or 304 stainless steel. This is a great option for the Power Stroke owner who's on a tighter budget but still looking for a high-end name brand bolt-on system. Moving on to the install, it's a difficulty of 1 out of 3 wrenches, and it's only going to take you about an hour to get the job done. Everything you need for the install is included with the kit, including clamps and the tip, and there isn't really a whole lot going on with the system like I said before, so this is just about as easy as an exhaust install gets. Next up, we've got an AT customer who's going to show you how to do the install on their own F-250.
Okay, just to kind of go over everything that we used to do this. Got our 1/2-inch box end combo wrench, 3/8-inch socket, deep set 1/2-inch 1/2-inch 3/8-inch drive socket. Those were just used for the substitute bolt, so not really part of it. Then we had our 9/16 1/2-inch drive socket, 9/16 bolt that we used for bolting on to where the header had been attached. 15-inch socket that we used with our 1/2-inch drive head that we used for attaching the clamps. Torque wrench, 45 foot-pounds. The 10 and the 12-inch adjustable wrenches that we used for taking off the sensor. Had our 2 supplies here, some Loctite and WD-40. Loctite I just used on that 1 bolt that we substituted, and then WD-40 to take the sensor off and take all the other bolts apart. Had just our strap we used to hold the exhaust in place while we were working on it. Just standard tape measure, steel tape. 8mm hex to attach the cap, end cap. My breaker bar, 2 foot long, just piece of 1 1/4 inch height. Very nice to have if you need something to get a little bit more umph on it. your run-of-the-mill crowbar, a couple of bar clamps, DeWalt saw, jigsaw for cutting through the pipe to cut it to length. Would have been nice to have a longer blade, but you want to make sure and have a metal cutting blade. What we had worked, not the best. DeWalt handheld grinder worked very nicely. Spotlight for showing the light. Trusty sawhorse. And last but not least, my favorite, the moving blankets. Great for laying on the ground, make it much more comfortable. So today we're going to be installing a new exhaust system, a new exhaust pipe on my 2018 F-250 Super Duty. Okay, so now we're going to look underneath the truck and see what we've got and do a little bit of prep work. And with that, we'll go underneath the truck. Okay, first thing we're going to do is spray some WD-40 to get these bolts loosened up. So there's 3 bolts here. We'll hit them on the back side as well. Try not to get a face full of WD-40 in the process. Okay. And I want to spray some WD-40 up here where the support bracket will come out of the bushings, or the rubber support piece. Not sure what they call it here. We'll just get that soaking and let it loosen up. Since this isn't the factory and it's not supported, I'm going to put a strap up here just to support it while we're doing this install, so that it's not coming loose and falling on my head. Big fan of not having things fall on my head. Love using ratchet straps for projects like this. They are very handy and quick to adjust, and you can pry things if need be with them. Don't want to put too much pressure on it, but in here we don't need a lot of strength, we just need to make sure it's locked. Okay, so now we're going to take the flange apart using 9/16 inch, good 1/2 inch ratchet. There we go. Okay, that first bolt started. Now we'll see if we can loosen this one up. Okay, that was scarily loose. And now the final one up here on top. Gotta love it. Let's see if we can loosen it. There we go. Okay, it is rolling on this side, so I'll put the backup wrench on it. So now the second bolt, or the third bolt, we'll see if we can get it loosened up. There we go. Okay, and since I've already loosened the other 2, we'll go ahead and take this one off. Okay. Okay. Take the gaskets out and set them aside because we will reuse them. Okay. So that's loose. The next thing we got to do is take off the sensor, which I'll reposition and get ready and we can talk through that. Okay, so now we've got the camera looking at the sensor. And first thing I'm going to do is wish I would have sprayed some WD-40 on this one earlier, but we're going to start out doing that and give it a minute. And a little bit bigger adjustable wrench, we'll see if this makes any difference. Now using a 12-inch instead of a 10-inch. There we go. Finally. Woo! Broke loose. Put that in there. Try and keep the twists. Okay, now we're going to take off where I finger tightened these on earlier so I could get the sensor off. Okay, so now we're back. Now we have to remove the exhaust pipe from this support bracket. Okay, this is the last piece to get what's left of the stock system off. So we'll slide it out to the end. Take my crowbar. Okay, heading down our head pipe, or extension pipe, is going to be our next big task. Well, we got to install the. But to start that, we're going to need to get a measurement here. And for that, I need to know how far in the over the axle pipe that's going to fit. So we get it nice and tight. Okay, I have my trusty pencil, and now we just mark it. Okay, now we'll take it apart. Hopefully this will just slide apart nicely. Yep. Okay, so next we install that, and then we get a good measurement on how far we need this. Okay, now we're going to install the over the axle pipe from the MBRP kit. So we gently thread this through here. Trying not to hit the camera in the process. Okay, thread it onto the holder, the exhaust hole, pipe holders. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to put our EGRP sensor back in, our EGR sensor. Try and coil that back up so it uncoils into the pipe as it installs. There we go. Now, since I don't know the length of the head pipe that the head pipe should be, and we're going to have to trim it up, I want to go ahead and install the tailpipe next, and we'll get everything fit loosely, and then we'll get our measurement to cut. Okay, so now we're going to hang the back exhaust bracket, back part of the exhaust pipe. So first thing I'm going to do, put my clamp on the pipe so I don't forget it. Let's see if I can get that where you can see it. Okay. We're going to slide this through, nice and easy. Okay, let's see if we can get that exhaust pipe home. Here's the exhaust pipe with the clamp already on it, in the back section. That's going to need to be in there. At the same time, we're trying to align this. Gotta love these fun order of operations. Okay, there we go. Get that pushed in nice and tight. Get it where you can see the clamp. Okay, get the clamp right on that end spot there. Grab my 1/2 inch socket set with a 15mm socket and tighten it up. Okay. It's not tight yet, so now we'll finish tightening these bolts up. Again, this is with my 15mm socket. I need to finish that up with a torque wrench, I believe. Okay, now we can go ahead and finish tightening up the sensor here. Well, the big major step is to get our measurement so we can cut our pipe to fit. Okay, so now I need to get the measurement from the exhaust pipe to the tailpipe. And as it gets lined up, I am looking about 17 7/8 inches. Note I'm taking the measurement on both sides to try and make sure that I'm getting it exactly, getting it lined up. We'll have to fight a little bit to get everything exactly in line when we put it back together, but it's like 17 7/8. And where I'm measuring is from the face of this to the very face of that. And we'll use the mark that we made earlier to calculate exactly how long it needs to be. So 17 7/8 is my starting point. Okay, so now we've got our measurement, 17 7/8. I'm going to go ahead and fasten this pipe down to my sawhorse here. So we'll use one clamp on this side. Grab my other clamp and put it down from the other side. Try and keep this thing from rolling out and get it nice and tight. We had 3 inches that went up in, so we're going to add that on to come up with 20 7/8 inches that we want as our final length. And again, that comes straight from that head right there. Come here. And they gave me this nice clamp that will actually work to help me mark it. So what we're going to do is just lay the clamp right there. Put it on my mark. Pull it tight. First time I've tried cutting a pipe with this particular saw, so we'll see how it goes. Not the prettiest cut in the world, but a heck of a lot better than using a hacksaw. Now I'll take my grinder. Okay, now all's left to mount her up. So first thing we're going to do is shove this thing back as far as we can get it. Let's get the bend pipe, get as much room as we can here. Then I want to get my clamp up here so I don't have to go fishing for it later. Okay. Now our pipe that we just cut. Now we wiggle everything into place. bring it back forward. And we take our gaskets, put them back through. Up just a little bit. Don't want anything tight yet. Just want to start pulling things together. I may have to replace that bolt. Yeah, that thing's stripped. Okay, well, we'll come back to that. Tighten that down. So now I'll just see how it's hanging on the brackets. That all looks good. Back here, spin the clamp a little bit so it's how I like it. Right about like that. Looks good. Got my 14 millimeter or 15 millimeter socket. Tighten that clamp down. Torque wrench here in a minute. So I think we basically have an exhaust system now. With everything hung, I'm going to go ahead and get my temporary support out of the way. It won't quite hold up. I don't think it would take the heat very well. So we'll take that off. And I'll go get a bolt and my torque wrench and see if we can finish this project up. Okay, well, I got a bolt. It's not quite what we had before. I think that's about a 3/8, and I've got a 5/16, but it'll work for today. I don't have lock washers or a lock nut for it, so I'm going to put some thread locker on it. Put that through. Nut on it. Okay. Take my 1/2 inch. Tighten this one up. Okay, now I'll adjust my torque wrench to 45 foot-pounds. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'll let you read your manual on yours. They're all maybe a little different. Put my 15 millimeter socket on. And we're going to crank this clamp down to 15 to 45 foot-pounds. Okay, I'm going to need a deep set socket here in front of me. I may have one in the house, but let's see if we can cheat this just a little bit. go. 45 foot-pounds. That part's done. So now we'll go tighten down that back one. Okay, we can see our back clamp here that we put on earlier. Now it's set at 45 foot-pounds. Wish there was a little more space in here for the camera in there. The reason that socket's not on there all the way is because I really do need a deep set 15. Okay, so we got our 45 foot-pounds there. Everything's looking good under here. So yeah, we still got a straight pipe. It certainly looks a lot better, and certainly nice to actually have it come out the back of the truck. Everything's bolted together nicely. And we'll see there, you can see where it's coming out the back. So we've got one more piece to put on, and we'll be done. Okay, so for the last piece, we're going to put the tip on. And it simply slides on anywhere in there. I don't particularly want mine sticking out too far. We'll get it positioned to where it's about. We've got an 8mm socket, or 8mm hex, that we're going to tighten up. Not too worried about it tightening it with this little wrench. We're using the impact wrench, you could easily break it, but with hand I'm not too worried about it with that short thing. Okay, and that would be the completed job.
That was the MBRP Armor Lite filter back single exhaust system with the polished tip and side exit fitting the 2017 to 2022 6.7 liter Power Stroke F-250 Super Duty. For all things F-250 Super Duty, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.